Hello everyone, Finley here, and welcome to another video essay. Today's topic, we are going to be talking about the asexuality spectrum. There are quite a few orientations associated with the spectrum, so let's begin. But once again, if you're interested in learning more about the different sexualities I'm talking about in this video, you can find all of them listed in the comments below. The first two I want to talk about are asexual and gray sexual. Gray sexual, also known as asexual, is essentially it's in the middle of it's an experience. It's people who experience some sexual attraction, but so not enough to be classified as somewhere on the allosexual spectrum, but also not little enough to be classified as asexual. And then asexual is people who experience no sexual attraction whatsoever. Um, yeah, to any gender or person. Basically, just sometimes it means that they don't have don't have desires to have sex, but usually it just means that they don't experience sexual attraction, which is fairly normal. And honestly, I feel like people should stop thinking that it's a bad thing. Next, we will talk about asexual, aceflux, and agosexual. Well, so aceflux is basically someone who fluctuates between the different sexual attractions within the ace spectrum. So essentially, they could be completely no sexual attractions one day, but then the next day have sort of they could like become gray sexual the next day. It fluctuates based on environmental factors. While they'll never like be fully one sexuality, they fluctuate between a bunch of different ones. And then agosexual. Basically, agosexual is people who are agosexual experience a disconnect between themselves and the sensation of arousal. Essentially, while they may experience sexual fantasies and they might masturbate or sexually stimulate themselves in some other way, when it comes to people, they feel no sexual attraction in that way. So, yeah. Next, apathosexual and cupiosexual. Uh, apathy, apathosexual, apathosexual. It's weird. It's hard to pronounce. Apathosexual, well, people find sexual activities and sexual attractions to be uncomfortable or disgusting, essentially taking normal asexuality to the next level of straight up not wanting it while also not experiencing sexual attraction. Cupiosexual is an orientation where the person who identifies as it they desire sexual activities such as having sex, but while they may desire these activities, they don't experience sexual attraction to their sexual partner or anyone. They don't experience sexual attraction, but they still have the desire to have sexual activity. Next. Alright. Our second and last two, demisexual and phrasexual. Demisexual, I'm sure most of you probably know about it. It's a very common sexuality among people on the A spectrum. But it's essentially people who only experience sexual attraction for someone who they have grown a deep emotional connection with. Basically, typical sexual attraction does not happen for demisexual people, but if they experience a deep emotional connection with somebody, then they will have the ability to grow a sexual attraction to them. Then we got phrasexual. free sexual people experience sexual attraction to people they don't know very well. So this essentially, basically they won't. It's like the opposite of demi in the sense where demisexual people can only gain sexual attraction to someone they have emotional connection with. Free sexual people will experience sexual attraction to somebody that they don't know at all. So they can't have an emotional connection with them. It's sort of like a love at first sight kind of thing. Next. Uh, there we go. Our last two orientations to talk about are lithosexual and autosexual. Well, it took me a while to even find these flags, but lithosexual I know, but I couldn't find it took me a while to find the autosexual flag. Probably because they probably want to bury this one. So lithosexual is an orientation where those who experience it, they feel sexual attraction, but only for someone who doesn't reciprocate those feelings for them, which doesn't really, in a sense, it's kind of difficult to, I guess maybe they feel sexual attraction at first, but then maybe if they don't reciprocate those feelings, then their sexual attraction to that person will only increase, while if they do reciprocate those feelings, then they'll lose out on those sexual attractions, which kind of sad in that matter. Next, autosexual, also known as egosexual. It is, you can kind of get it from the name, but it's people who have sexual attractions towards themselves rather than others. Yeah. Which I know that they exist. I've never really met one, but yeah, you can always have fun. In conclusion, always remember that any sexual orientation is valid, any gender identity is valid, and there is no reason to be afraid of who you are, because unless you're like a mass serial killer, there's really no reason to. Anyway, I hope that one day we can all be welcoming to anyone of any sexual orientation, because that's still a somewhat major issue in our current world, and I hope that one day that everybody can just be accepting. But once again, the sources are going to be listed in the comments below if you want to learn more about the asexual spectrum. Coming soon, I'm going to be doing a video about the aromantic spectrum to sort of pair along this one. I also want to do a video about gender dysphoria and how it's like more common than you think in people. But yeah, to end off the video, I'd like to say please don't forget, subscribe if you want to get notified for future videos. Well, subscribe and turn on your notifications for future videos. And if you know anyone you think should be educated on any of these topics, feel free to send them my videos and help educate everyone on these topics, because I feel like, especially in the current political climate we're in, which I don't really want to talk about in these videos, but still, people should feel open to learning about these things. But yes, once again, my name is Finley, and I will see you all in the next video, where we love you all no matter what.